Welcome to the Get Published podcast, sponsored by Brodie Consulting Group. To get more information about our coaching, publishing, executive ghostwriting, and podcast production services, go to getpublishedpodcast.com. Hello, I am Paul Brodie, and thank you for joining us for another episode of the Get Published podcast, where we help authors get published with a proven system that works. And today, we're being joined by Dale Roberts, who has authored over 40 books, including the 90-Day Home Workout Plan. Dale, welcome to the show.
Hey, thank you very much for having me. I was just binge listening to your podcast earlier, so it's just a real pleasure to kind of join you here.
Well, we are thrilled to have you. Are you ready to begin?
Absolutely. Let's do it.
All right. Question number one. What is the one piece of advice that you would give to a first-time author who is currently writing their book?
Get it done. I see far too many first-time authors that are worried about everything else that comes after the publishing. And sure, it's a good idea to have a little bit of foresight and understanding what's going to happen after the writing. But the very first thing you need to worry about is getting it done. Write that damn book is what a good friend of mine, Martin McConnell, once said. So get it done and worry about the rest later.
And what do you feel is the hardest part about getting published?
Ooh, getting published is the easy part to me. I think for a first-time author, it's going to seem very daunting. Just pressing that publish button, it feels like you're getting ready to fire off some nukes. You're kind of questioning yourself. You're thinking things are going to get broken. What will happen? And then when you finally do it, there's a big rush. But here's the thing. The hard work comes after you've published, because you've gone through, you've wrote it, you got it edited, you got it proofread, maybe you got some beta readers and an art team, and everything's ready to rock and roll. But the hardest part comes, and I think a lot of people drop the ball in this area, it's continually marketing and promoting that book. Because the thing is, we can publish our books, Paul, but the problem, there's no neon sign shining right above our book to buy it. We have to continually go out there, and we've got to be continually visible, and we have to always be marketing and promoting if we want to see our books to become successful in the long term.
Well, that connects perfectly to our next question, and that is to please share a marketing strategy that you have used in your book launches that has worked well.
Ooh, man, you could tell I was reading ahead on some of these questions, right? I love it. This is a perfect segue. The best marketing strategy. Ooh, there's a few things. First of all, packaging is going to be the most important thing. You have to get your marketing correct, your marketing assets. So the most important thing is to get a very good book cover. Do not spare any expenses on this one. And for the love of all things sacred, don't do it yourself. If you're not a graphic design artist, hire out a professional that can do it for you. And the next thing is, a good marketing strategy is going to include a stellar book description. Make sure that you've got a book blurb, a description that you put just as much time into as what you did for writing your book. If you don't feel like you can describe your book or sell it in a way that's going to get the browsing customers to buy it through whatever marketplace it's on, then you may want to hire out a copywriter that will do it for you, so that way it can be sold. From there, you've got your book cover, you've got your book description ready to rock and roll. One of the best marketing strategies right now is either a video, and you can go and get yourself booked over through a YouTube channel and get an interview, or have your own YouTube channel. You can go and do Facebook and do Facebook video. Twitch is another avenue. And then here's one. We're on it right now. And that is the Get Published podcast, of course. But you want to reach out to podcasts and get yourself out there and as visible as possible. Because the more visible you are, the more likely people are going to be able to remember you in the long term. And then when they see your book inside a specific, like say Amazon, or they see it in Barnes and Noble, they're going to go, oh, that's right. I seen that Dale L. Roberts. He was over on that Get Published podcast. I'm going to go ahead and pick this book up.
Well, speaking of books, I'd like to know, what is your favorite book, and what was the number one thing that you learned from it?
My favorite book, and I've easily read it 4 times, was Mick Foley's Have a Nice Day, A Tale of Blood and Sweat Socks. And it was written by a professional wrestler. And no ghostwriting done. Mick Foley's a very intelligent man, has his own college degree and whatnot. It's a fantastic read. And even if you're not a professional wrestling fan, it is like a real version of the Rocky story, of that person who defies all odds, that he makes it to the top of his business through blood, sweat, and tears. And he had to make sacrifices along the way. And I'm getting goosebumps just describing it right now. But the thing that I learned from it was, you've got to work for it. If you truly want your dream and you want to achieve it, you're not just going to be able to say, well, I'm going to become a successful professional wrestler and then bam, you're all of a sudden a world champion. No, it's going to take years and years and years of work. You got to put in your chops. You got to put in your reps. You got to take some of the time. So the same thing's going to go for those of you that are authors out there, or even those of you that are reading your favorite books. Figure out what it is that your dream is, and you got to work on it.
And for a final question, what is your favorite quote and why?
This is one of my favorite ones off the top of my head. It's so easy to remember. It's one by John C. Maxwell, and he fantastic author on leadership. And one of the things that his father used to tell him was, you're going to pay now or you're going to pay later. Either way, you're going to pay. And it was kind of his reference to like him having to do the dishes. And he'd go out and play, and eventually he'd come back, and his dad was like, well, you still got to do dishes. So I always kind of look at it this way, is you got to put in the time, and it kind of goes back to this last point I was just discussing, was you got to put in the time now. If you really want to succeed at your dreams and such like that, you either pay now or you pay later. Either way, you're going to have to pay. So you want to pay those dues, get it done now, so that way you can enjoy the spoils later on.
Well, Dale, I want to thank you for being a guest on the show. What is the best way for people to find you online?
Super easy. You can find me on YouTube, Self-Publishing with Dale, or if you forget that, you can always go to the hub for all things Dale L. Roberts at selfpublishingwithdale.com.
Well, Dale, thank you once again for being on the show, and I wish you all the best in your author journey ahead.
Thank you so much.
Thanks again for joining us today. To learn more about how to get your book published with a proven system that works, grab a free copy of my book at getpublishedpodcast.com.